Guys, I'm coming to you no longer from Cluj in Romania. I am in Ireland, and I will be here for a couple of days, staying here with my family, and just enjoying the sunshine. Apparently, it's very sunny here in Ireland for some reason. So I kind of thought about starting the movie by saying that I was in Arizona, and then make this really cool joke where I was like, "I'm just kidding. I'm not in Arizona. I'm in Ireland," you know. But then I realized that it wasn't funny. I have to address the elephant in the room right away. This is not my microphone, actually. I'm in the attic, and my brother does podcasts here. I'm very distracted and all over the place because I went out with friends last night, and hopefully I can get my thoughts out in a coherent way. Yeah, I'm a little. We went out to a jazz concert, and I'm very distracted for some reason. There's just it's so hard to not be distracted. Anyways, God, I'm gonna try to talk sense. Okay, I have to address the elephant in the room. I had to get a haircut. I've been defeated. My former rebellion of growing my hair for a year did not work out, and I've been defeated. I feel defeated, so that's also why I'm a little all over the place. My voice is a little low, but I'm gonna try and talk and say something that I wanted to kind of get out there. I originally thought about making a video of for Milan Kundera's The Unbearable Lightness of Being. So there's a few parts in it that I really wanted to talk about, and maybe I will, because this is a book that's built around that talks about coincidences, imperfection, the unpredictability of life, as well as lightness and burden, in life. There's so much in it, and there's so much that I would like to share as a starting point from the book, as a starting point to talk about my perception and experience of life. But then I was looking at videos on YouTube, and I came across an interesting trend, I would say, of people who comment on books or have discussions about books. First of all, these videos are not very exciting. They're very stale, they're very serious conversations and very little sense of humor, at least the ones that I came across. But that's okay, that's fine. But what I was kind of disappointed by is that a lot of people mention or even start their videos by saying that they're not, by apologizing that they're not an expert maybe in literature or in philosophy, especially when it comes to these books, because somehow that's going to make their evaluation of the book or their discussion of the book better, or just forgive me for saying this because I'm not an authority in it and stuff. That to me is not a very good thing to have in a discussion on books, because you wouldn't have that in discussions of sports, where everyone has an opinion and everyone feels like they're right. For some reason in the arts, that discussion, let me just move the camera a little bit, that discussion doesn't work. It always entails, some sort of an apology for your shortcomings and weaknesses and the flaws in your theory, because somehow you didn't study it in third level education. But I don't think that I'm having read the writings of Bourdieu and Gramsci. I'm not entirely opposed to the idea of cultural gatekeepers as people who somehow guard opinion on especially artworks. Who say in an artwork is somehow more valid than an average person on YouTube talking about it. I'm not entirely against it, but I am a little bit, especially when it comes to people sharing their experience of reading the books on YouTube, because I feel like they're actually doing a great service to the art life and to spreading a passion for the arts, especially when it comes to books that aren't, let's face it, we're not in the age of people reading books unless it's certain types of books that aren't necessarily Milan Kundera, although he is one of the most famous writers. They're doing a great service to that, because YouTube is a platform that isn't necessarily made for people to talk about books like these. They're more for competitive eaters, they're more for comedians, they're more for beauty products, salespeople, but it's not primarily anyways made for people to talk about Milan Kundera. So anyone who's taken time off their life to talk about it is going to have a valid opinion on it, just because of the fact that they feel like sharing things about it, or their knowledge of it, or what they found out about the author or the book itself. So it's not necessary to say, you know, I've heard people whose channel is primarily concerned with philosophy say, you know, I'm not an expert in prose writing, you know, and then someone who was, you know, someone whose channel is more about books say, I'm not an expert in philosophy, you know, and it's like, fine, you know, it doesn't really matter, you know, but it felt like, to me, like they were kind of just saying, you know, I could be wrong about this, when really right or wrong is not necessarily a good, is not necessarily an important aspect of a discussion about the arts. It's really more about the way in which we perceive art and the way it communicates with us. Even an argument that's around whether an art, whether any art thing, you know, it can be a book or a film or music or a piece of music or whatever, whether that is good or bad is not necessarily an interesting argument to me, because if you perceive an artwork as bad, it was still able to communicate something to you and make you think. You know, even if you are experiencing a work of art and you're not in the moment thinking about the work of art, the fact that you are experiencing in any case, or you are involved in an act of trying to experience that artwork, but you find that your mind starts wandering in your childhood, or it goes back to certain things that happened in your life, or maybe you're just thinking about the fact that you have to get some milk because you've run out of it and you need to get some milk for your fridge, then that was also an experience that was spurred on by the fact that you had to sit down and experience a book or something, or a film or whatever. So that's my point, you know, when you're sharing an opinion on YouTube, I feel like you don't necessarily have to forgive your shortcomings, and this is related to the fact that, you know, we should probably begin to go beyond the idea that there's cultural gatekeepers that shape taste, that need to shape our taste and knowledge of things, and the validation of and legitimation of works of art. So I hope that made sense. You know, my space on my SD card is running out, so I'm gonna end it here. Maybe I'll talk about this concept some more, but I just wanted to get that thought out there, and I might talk about the unbearable lightness of being some more as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you real soon.